Hey guys, welcome back to Sacred Vedic Astrology. My name is Samantha and I feel so blessed to be a professional Vedic sidereal astrologer. So if you guys are not already subscribed and you are new to my channel, don't forget to pause the video, go down there, click the subscribe button because we are at 1K right now, but also it's a little elusive because I'll go up to 1K and then it will drop a subscriber or two and then it will go up. Make sure to subscribe so we can stay at that 1K number, which I'm so excited about. So don't forget to subscribe down there, but really excited about 1K because it took a while, and I can recall when I was younger and I used to watch other YouTubers and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So today we are going to talk about a very important and fascinating transit that is starting as I'm filming this video. I thought it would be perfect to wait until Friday, which connects to Venus, and do it on the day of the transit, which is Rahu coming together with Venus in Aquarius. And we're going to do an analysis into what this transit is going to manifest as for everyone as a collective, and then I'll also go into the individualistic transits by each sign. Okay, so let's get started with talking about the general energy of Rahu with Venus in Aquarius and what we can expect. Venus is in Aquarius from February 6th to March 2nd. And Rahu is sitting there right now. So Rahu is in Aquarius, so when Venus shifts into that sign, we get that energy where Rahu and Venus are kind of playing together, right? It's like this conjunction aspect. So we feel Rahu, we feel Venus, we feel Rahu with Venus, right? They're in combination until Venus moves out of Aquarius, right? We're also in the midst of eclipse season, so this is a very sort of faded time period, right? We can feel like a lot of things are faded. We can be meeting a lot of faded people. We can be having faded experiences. We can be having a lot of exciting opportunities. We can be having a lot of endings, but also a lot of beginnings. During eclipse time period, a lot of people move, a lot of people change jobs, a lot of people are thinking about some sort of big change in their life. And I happen to really like eclipse time periods, maybe because I love change and excitement. And also I find eclipse time periods, a lot of astrologers call it the eclipse portal, because things are very manifesty in eclipse time periods. I cannot even tell you guys how many things in the past couple weeks I've talked about and then it's just directly reflected in my reality, to the point where I was talking to my friend about this guy that I love on TikTok, and then he ended up being on my street. I'm not kidding. He literally was on my street. So that was weird. So eclipse time periods can be very manifesty. You can feel your outer reality gets very reflected back to you in an eclipse time period where your thoughts are very powerful, very potent. I feel like I've manifested 10 things in the past couple weeks as we come into this eclipse time period. So it's really powerful, really potent. So there's also that going on as well too. Okay, so let's get into the Rahu Venus. So with Rahu coming together with Venus, there can be this unconventional, exciting, magnetic energy right now, right? We can feel there's some sort of creative project we feel really lit up by. We can feel we want to go pursue something more creative, more artistic, because that's Venus, right? And Rahu is always strange, it's unconventional, it's something that is foreign, it's something that's different. So when Venus comes together with Rahu, we're taking those Rahu themes in conjunction with Venus, right? We might be drawn to foreigners, we might be drawn to people from different cultures, we might be wanting to create things that are more eccentric, we might be really interested in eccentric art, eccentric sort of creativity. Whenever Rahu comes together with Venus natally, someone is often very creative. So as a collective, we can feel very creatively or artistically inspired. And I always really like Rahu with Venus for artists because I think that this really helps them come up with some unconventional ideas. I'm not a professional artist, but I've been an artist and a creative my whole life. I was going to be a photographer and I've written poetry my whole life. And whenever Rahu comes together with Venus, I get real creative. I get real creative. Like I'm just like driving down the streets and I'm like, poetry is in my phone. So it can be a really beautiful transit for artists and creatives because we feel that like Rahu, obsessive, eccentric, unconventional energy coming together with the Karaka for art and beauty and romance and creativity, right? So it can really energize us creatively. We can feel really inspired to go create something, to go make something happen in the creative realms as well too. Unconventional, exciting art, creativity, magnetic, romantic connections and desires. Also, whenever Rahu comes together with Venus, we can feel very drawn to like physical beauty. So we can feel like we really want to change something about our looks, about our appearance. We can want to get like a treatment done, get a facial, do something that's more in the materialistic realms of beauty, which isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with beauty and like being connected to the materialistic realms, right? I think a lot of times people have a perception that like materialism or beauty is like negative in some form, but it's really not. It's just about how you utilize it, right? It's like, I think beauty is really important to me because I have Venus opposite my moon, but I find beauty to be like one of the most spiritual things. Like when you feel beautiful and you connect with art and beauty, I think that's very spiritual. And so Rahu with Venus can make us feel like we want to feel beautiful physically. We want to change something to our appearance. We want to beautify ourselves, our life, or our home to some degree as well too. Okay. Now, Rahu with Venus can also shake up things around love and desires and money and beauty and values in a way that feels like exciting or karmic and a little bit destabilizing as well too. It's not just like this like soft energy with Rahu Venus. It can be something that kind of wakes us up. It can be a little bit of a catalyst. It can be something that excites us but also makes us feel a little bit uncertain or ungrounded to some degree as well too. We can absolutely have that experience with Rahu Venus. So there is a need to like ground ourselves, right? And make sure we're not getting swept up in anything that's like too exciting, too destabilizing, but doesn't actually have some sort of solid grounding or solid footing as well too. Like Rahu with Venus, the concern that I would have is people getting swept up into things that are like exciting and thrilling, and then the transit ends and it's like, oh, that was not based in any sort of reality. So it can be very like getting swept up very easily in things. So don't like rush into a connection. Don't rush into a relationship when Rahu is with Venus. Make sure things have some solid grounding. And I would say wait until the transit ends to make sure it's not just like, whew, like thin air, right? Rahu can be something that comes in very powerfully and it's very intense and karmic and potent. And then we start to unravel some sort of illusions after the fact as well too, right? So we want to not get completely swept up in something at this time. That's really important. Okay, we also have to watch out for getting swept up in spending too much money or like financial decisions that are maybe too good to be true, right? If something seems too good to be true, when Rahu comes together with Venus, it probably is, right? Whether it's a person or a financial decision, we want to wait for major decisions in like money or love until the transit kind of gives us more clarity. And what I mean by that is we don't want to go in on some crazy investment that looks really promising, and when the transit ends, it's like, oh, I just put all that money into that and that wasn't real, right? So it's like we have to watch out for things that are illusionary or deceptive and seem too good to be true as well too. Like I would watch out for that absolutely this month. But we can be very drawn to unconventional or new methods of making money, making art, creative endeavors, and also we might be really drawn to different types of people in connections and relationships. So maybe it's like, okay, we've been drawn to this type of person thus far, then Rahu comes together with Venus and it's like, I'm drawn to something very different all of a sudden, or I want to shake things up in romance. I want things to feel a little different. I want it to feel more exciting. I want it to feel, more unconventional to some degree as well too. Okay. Now, because Rahu comes together with Venus in the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is this very freedom-seeking, rebellious, technology-connected, future-oriented sign as well, too. So people can feel like they want to really express themselves creatively on social media or through technology, or like a sense of, oh, I want things to be more eccentric, more outside of the box, right? Because Rahu is with Venus in that Aquarius sign. And I would also say we're very connected to humanitarian sort of endeavors and pursuits at this time as well, too, because of that Aquarius sign. It's very humanitarian as well. Okay, so when Rahu comes together with Venus, we can feel like we have some really strong desires that we want to pursue. Our attractions can be unusual or taboo, or we're craving something different in our life. And old relationships or creative dynamics can feel somewhat outdated. We can feel like we're outgrowing them. And we can have some strong desires for freedom within relationships and beauty and creativity. There can be this very big like longing or desire for freedom and growth and expansion, right? But definitely we're going to feel such a theme of Venus this month of, oh my God, art and beauty and money and finances. We're going to be wanting to make money when Rahu comes together with Venus as well too. Okay. And the shadowy side is to watch out for people that are too good to be true, or maybe unavailable in some way, or idealizing someone that you don't really know, chasing too much of excitement, right? The shadow side would also be financial impulsivity or overspending on like beauty and luxury, right? So spending too much money on clothes or makeup or whatever, right? That can absolutely happen with Rahu Venus. And yeah, so Rahu Venus can also show we're detaching a lot from outdated patterns and connections as well too. Okay. All right, so that is like the collective experience of Rahu conjunct Venus in Aquarius. I think it's going to be really great for creativity and beauty and art and making money. I think people are really going to want to make money this month, 100%, even like coming up with unconventional ideas for money. Like, oh, I want to do this. I want to try this. Maybe I could do this with money. Maybe I could come up with this idea. It's very out of the box, sort of eccentric ideas and connected to all the Venus themes. All right, so now I'm going to go through each sign and let you guys know how this might be affecting your personal chart. So I talked about this in the last video, but I tend to just look at the rising sign, to be completely honest. I don't really check the moon as much as maybe I should, but you guys know, like, I'm a professional astrologer. I don't check my transits obsessively all day, all the time. But when I do tune in and check my transits, it's always spot on, right? So, you know, a lot of people like to look from the ascendant or the lagna and then the moon, which is Chandra lagna or moon as ascendant. So you can look from both and whatever resonates. Usually it's both will have some resonance. Okay, so let us start with Aries. So for Aries ascendant or moon, this is in the 11th house. So this can show some sudden attractions or meetings of friends or groups or an organization. So there can be some new interesting friendships that you're forming. Because Rahu is so different and eccentric, it can be like, oh, I've never really been friends with someone like that. Or this is something different. This is something unique. This is something outside the norm, right? And this could be a really great time to join some sort of group or a community that is more non-traditional, unconventional to some degree, something that just gets you like excited about a group. You can also have a desire for some big visions, right? The 11th house is like big dreams, big goals, big visions that we have. So you can be having some pretty big idealistic visions at this time. And also the 11th house is large sums of money. So if you do anything where there's potential to get like a lump sum of money, that's the 11th house. It's just like money that all comes at once. This can be a transit where there can be some financial gain with Rahu Venus in the 11th house as well too. But that would be like if you do anything where there's larger amounts of money. Okay, but can just bring in some eccentric connections, groups, organizations, people around you. There can also be some unexpected events in the realms of friends and community as well too. Okay. All right, for Taurus, Lagna or Moon, this activates the 10th house. So this would show that the career has a desire for some change, some eccentricity, some creative vision, right? You can feel like you want your career to have some sort of shift, some sort of heightened energy about it, right? Maybe you've been doing something thus far that's getting a little stagnant or boring. Rahu with Venus is like, let's shake it up. Let's try something different. Let's do something more eccentric. There can be a desire to be more creative in your work, or there can be some connection you have to foreign lands, different cultures in the work as well too. Maybe you're like connecting with people from different places, people that are different from you culturally. That can be a theme in the work life as well too. If there's anything creative that you want to put out there, if you happen to be in a more creative or artistic field, this would be a really good month to put out something like a creative project or create something more eccentric and different in your work life as well too. You can feel like you want people to see you in a more Rahu Venus sort of way. So you want to be seen as someone who's more like beautiful and creative and artistic and interesting. You can feel like you really want that heightened energy of being seen in the work life as well too. All right, Gemini, Lagna, or Moon. So this is highlighting our 9th house. So this would be desires to travel, study new philosophies, connect with more eccentric or non-conventional belief systems, maybe studying something new, taking a new course, learning something that is different in some way. And there can be an attraction to like foreign spiritual lands or foreign spiritual unconventional people as well too. But this would be an energy that really is showing some desires for new belief systems, new philosophies, new teachings. This can be a great time to take a new interesting course or read a new book or pick up a cool book on religion or philosophy. Just to give you guys such a literal manifestation of how this is unfolding in my personal chart is at my TM center, which is Transcendental Meditation. They randomly started doing this book study of the Bhagavad Gita, which it's just so Rahu Venus in the 9th house, it cracks me up. So basically the 9th house is like studying different cultures, texts, philosophies, new belief systems, and I'm like taking all of a sudden this like little book study on a text that comes from a different culture, and it's very philosophical, and it's something I've always wanted to unravel, and then they just so happen to do this book meeting right when Rahu Venus transits my 9th house. Like it's silly in that way. Come on, you know what I mean? It's so funny. And I also have been thinking a lot about different travels as well too. You really can't make this stuff up. Okay, there can also be some karmic experiences with the father or guides, gurus, teachers, maybe wanting to step into your role as a teacher in a more non-conventional way as well. Okay, Cancer, Lagna, or Moon. So this is moving through the 8th house, which is very interesting, right? Rahu Venus in the 8th can show some sort of obsession with like the spiritual, the occult, the psychological, the astrological. Like maybe there's something that you're obsessively wanting to like research or learn about in those realms. You can feel very intuitive, very psychic, very psychically activated with Rahu Venus in the 8th house. There can be some sort of obsession romantically, right? Because the 8th house can be very obsessive energy. There can be some theme of financial gain if it's like from an outside resource. So let's say it's like inheritance, let's say it's like government money, something that comes outside of yourself. Rahu Venus can expand or show some sort of growth financially there. Anything that's like outside of yourself, but also merged, like merged resources, merged finances. Rahu Venus can show growth and expansion there as well too. This would be a really great time for anything astrological, spiritual, mystical, but you have to watch out for extremes or obsessions at this time as well too. Can be a very transformational energy in the realms of like merging with other people, where you're realizing how much you want to give, how much you want to merge. The 8th house is we're merging and connecting deeply sort of house. Okay. You can feel very like magnetic and charismatic with Rahu Venus in the 8th house as well too. Like people are kind of drawn to your energy 100%. Okay. So Leo, Lagna, or Moon, this activates the 7th house. So this would show either awakenings or disruptions in relationships. It can go either way, right? So Rahu Venus can come into the 7th house and you wake up to something in a relationship, or you get really excited or passionate in a relationship, or it can show something that has been illusionary or deceptive. There can be some revelations with Rahu Venus in the 7th where it's like, oh, I can see things more clearly. Or the other end of that is you want more excitement in relationships and you're looking for something that's different, non-traditional, unconventional, and you want to feel that like passion and excitement again with Rahu Venus in the 7th house. So it can bring in magnetic or unusual partners, or some sort of like awakening or awareness of something that needs to change or shift in the sector of relationships and business connections as well too. There can also be desires for connecting with people in business or work life that are maybe more Rahu Venus like. They're more eccentric, they're more exciting, maybe they're from a different culture, foreign in some way. Okay, Virgo, Lagna, or Moon, this is activating the 6th house. So this would show a desire for some changes in your daily routine, your daily work. There might be some sense of like stagnation. And therein, when Rahu comes together with Venus, it's like, okay, I want my day-to-day life to feel more like exciting again. Like things have been too stagnant, right? So you want to bring in some fun, some newness into your daily routine. You want to try some new things out. You might want to shake things up in the work life, the day-to-day work life, but also your routines, your health, your fitness. All of that can get this like Rahu Venus shake up where it's been the same lately and you're like, I need to have more fun in my day-to-day routine. When Rahu comes together with Venus in the 6th house, it can also show that you want to do something within your health and like your physical wellness. So it can be a great time to do like beauty treatments or anything that's more health focused that can help you feel more beautiful and more like alive again, right? So that would be the 6th house of daily routine, health, wellness. It's also workplace. So you can feel drawn to or attracted to someone in the work life as well too. Maybe someone kind of non-conventional, taboo, something like that. But watch out for extremes in health, because Rahu, when it goes into the 6th house in general, it's like someone is meant to focus on their health and do some work around their health, but it can also be extreme. So you want to watch out for like extremes in health and wellness as well too. Okay, Libra, Lagna, or Moon, this is a really fun one because this is in your 5th house, right? And so Rahu Venus already has that like 5th house energy about it where it's like passion, creativity, excitement, and then we also get Rahu Venus in the 5th house, making those themes really heightened. So this would show romantic excitement. There can be some sort of fun person coming into your life, something more casual or flirtatious, but can be very fun and magnetic energy. Rahu Venus in the 5th house can be very, very creative. So this would be great for any sort of artistic endeavors, right? If you want to write something, if you want to publish something, this would be a really good time to start writing or putting some work out there that's more creative. Can feel more risky in the realms of love and romance and creativity. Ooh, I want to try something a little bit different. I would definitely watch for fertility because Rahu Venus in the 5th can make you extremely fertile, right? So definitely want to watch out for that as well too. But this can be a really, really fun transit, right? You can feel like you just want to get out there. You're feeling passionate. You're feeling excited. You're feeling creative. You can feel like you just want to have fun this month, and that's great, right? It can be also a great time to connect with children. If you have children, it can be this sort of fun energy with children as well too. Okay, Scorpio Lagna or Moon, this is activating the 4th house. So this would show some desire to beautify the family life or the home life to some degree. Maybe you want to bring in some new art into the home, or you want to change, something about the house, the home environment to make it more beautiful. There can be a desire to beautify homes, lands, real estate, cars, vehicles, and you can also feel like your emotional nature is more heightened, right? Because 4th house is also like our emotions, it's our stability. It's a very like watery, emotional house of happiness. So you can feel like your emotional nature can be like high and low with Rahu Venus in the 4th. So you can feel very like emotionally sensitive as well too. Definitely a great time to bring in more beauty into your physical environment, right? There can also be some closeness or some good energy with the mother. Maybe you're connecting more with the mother with Rahu Venus in the 4th house as well too. But it can give some emotional restlessness, right? And there can be some like obsessive energy about like, oh my God, I want to move. I need to change my home. I need to beautify it. I need to get a new car. There can be some obsessive energy when Rahu Venus goes into the 4th house. So just don't do anything too extreme. Don't go buy this super expensive house that's like outside of your budget or something too extreme with Rahu Venus in the 4th house, but a great time to just bring more beauty, more creativity, more arts into the home life. Okay, Sagittarius, Lagna, or Moon. This lights up the 3rd house. So there can be a desire for short travels, maybe a quick trip. Maybe you're in the car more. There can be a sense of like, ooh, I want to go somewhere that's like an hour away or an hour drive. Something that's more like a quick sort of short travel endeavor. 3rd house is also communication, siblings. So this can be a time when you really want to express something, get something out there into the world through the realms of communication, right? This would be a really good time for like expressing yourself on social media or doing something in the communication realms that's more connected to social media and technology. There can be a desire for more entrepreneurial endeavors. Maybe you want to start up like a side business, a side endeavor. This would probably bring your energy levels up a little bit, right? Because Rahu is expansive, Venus is a benefic, 3rd house is like our energy, so you might feel more energized at this time. Like you're like, oh my God, I have ideas, I want to put them out there. I'm energized, I want to express myself. It can be this very energizing sort of transit for you at this time. And a good time to really just like have some ideas that you're putting out there into fruition. Anything that's more communication based as well too. Okay, Capricorn, Lagna, or Moon. This is, oh my goodness, going to be so much about money and security, right? So Rahu Venus is coming into the 2nd house, and this is showing an extreme desire, maybe even obsession for financial growth and abundance, right? And if you do anything where you make, your own money, right? The 2nd house is like your money that you're making on your own. This can bring a heightened energy there where you're making more money than usual. You can feel like your money and financial abundance is growing at this time. And the 2nd house is also self-worth and value. So you can feel like you're redefining what you value, what you put value into, what values you, who values you. And there can be this redefining self-worth sort of aspect as well too. It's also the voice, right? The 2nd house is the voice. So you can desire to express yourself through the voice in more eccentric, loud, beautiful, creative, or exciting ways, right? And you can feel some sort of like attraction to resources and financial abundance, and using the voice, like Rahu Venus would heighten those themes and make you more drawn to those realms at this time. Definitely a great time to get your money up. With Rahu Venus in the 2nd house, I'm like, Rahu Venus expanding in 2nd house of money, let's go. So it can be a really good financial transit. Okay, but definitely watch out for overspending or being overly indulgent with Rahu Venus in the 2nd. You don't want to spend a bunch of money on things that you're going to regret down the line, or overindulge, because the 2nd house is what we ingest and put into our body. So you can be overindulgent at this time as well too. Okay, Aquarius Lagna or moon, this is the first house. So this is really interesting energy, right? Because it's right on the ascendant, which means you can have this sort of magnetic energy about you. You can feel like you're having some sort of glow up, like you're changing your looks, you're changing your appearance. You can feel magnetic, confident. There can be some identity changes, right? You can feel like you're transforming the way that you show up in the world. You might want to show up in a more Rahu Venus way, more authentic, more eccentric. You want to be seen at this time, and you can be seen. This is a great time to put yourself out there. If you do anything like social media or anything where you are like in front of people, Rahu Venus in the first would really favor that energy, especially if you're being authentic and expressing yourself in very authentic ways. Rahu Venus in the first would do well for that, right? Can feel energized or eccentric in your energy, kind of more bold, and there's desires to be seen or express yourself, right? I would say to watch out for, putting too much into your physical appearance, like spending too much money on things that are going to make you feel good physically. Just watching out for overindulgence there. And Rahu Venus in the first could also show that you just feel like you want to feel really good and beautiful at this time. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You just want to feel good. You want to feel good in your physical form, and can bring a lot of magnetic attraction sort of energy to you at this time. Okay, Pisces Lagna or moon. This is in the 12th house. So this can show that the dreams are very psychic and intuitive. This can show there's strange dreams occurring. It can also show that there's either like some disruptions to the sleep or a need for more sleep with Rahu Venus in the 12th house. There can be some sort of desire for foreign lands, planning trips to foreign places, can feel very connected to different cultures. The 12th house is a moksha house, right? A spiritual liberation house. So you can feel very drawn to the psychic and the spiritual, and you can want to really liberate yourself from something. Like you can feel like you want to unravel yourself from something that you've been stuck in for a while, right? Some sort of outdated cycle, something that's just like feels like it's been keeping you drained or tying you down. Rahu Venus in the 12th can be like, okay, let's look at that from a new perspective. Let's do something different. This would be a great time for anything within the realms of film or photography or television. So Rahu Venus in the 12th, if you're like behind the camera, in front of the camera, this would be great creative energy for specifically film, photography, television. Like put yourself out there in front of the camera or behind the camera, whichever one it is, right? The 12th house is that film and photography house. Can show desires to meditate, go within, go deep, kind of unravel something spiritually as well too. Okay? But the dreams and the dream space will be very important at this time. All right, so that was how the transit will be affecting each sign. And of course, there's always so much more going on astrologically. Like, it's really a whole picture, right? And these videos, like transit videos, are just giving us a little glimpse into certain aspects of our experience. But we always have dashas that we're running, and we have all these other transits that are occurring at the same time. But it gives us some sort of quick insight into what we can be feeling at this month as well too. All right, so overall with Rahu Venus in Aquarius, I would say embrace authenticity, embrace eccentricity. People are going to be very drawn to that. They're going to be drawn to any sort of endeavors that are very like unique and real and just eccentric and different, right? We might be seeing a lot of like fashion or beauty that's pushing the boundaries. People are going to be very drawn to that eccentric sort of energy at this time. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for further content coming soon. And I would love to hear how you guys are experiencing this transit, even though it just started today. I feel like we start to feel transits as a collective, like before they happen. I don't have an exact time period of when I think we start to feel it, but maybe a week or two leading up to it, we start feeling those themes, especially if you are more sensitive and intuitive. Like, I can always pick up on transits before they happen. Like, I'll start talking to someone, I'll be like, I just feel, and it's like something that's connected to Rahu Venus, like, I just feel very creative and eccentric and inspired, and then I'm like, oh, Rahu's about to come together with Venus. Right, so I do think as a collective, we feel the transits on an experiential level, like before it comes into fruition, but that's just my theory on it. So we probably are already feeling these themes unraveling at this time. All right, and it is also eclipse season, like I spoke about earlier, so a time of a lot of fated events, fated experiences. Pay attention to who you're meeting at this time, who you're meeting this month. They can have some importance in your life trajectory. They can really lead you to something. There can be endings and a lot of unexpected sort of endings of connections as well too, but also can be new fated meetings also. So it can be a very, like, eclipse time periods are always very, you never know what's going to happen, right? It's very unexpected, it's very fated, it's a lot of change, and that's the fun of it and the fun of life, right? All right, so sending all the best vibes, and we will talk soon. Bye, guys.